Step back, boy.
boy, you don't belong here.
You don't belong here. The voice spat from the intercom, dripping with contempt. Red lights flashed across the iron gates of Avalon Estates, a fortress of the wealthy. 3 guards in dark navy uniforms advanced, hands gripping batons and handcuffs. Their boots scraped against the pavement as if authority alone could rewrite the truth. Inside the black Hyundai, Marcus Thompson sat frozen. He didn't understand what was happening, didn't know what crime he was guilty of, except in their eyes, his only offense, daring to drive into this wealthy enclave. One guard sneered, Men like you don't live here.
Not
in an $8 million mansion.
Not in
Avalon. The others laughed, already savoring his humiliation. But what happens when the man they're trying to push out is the true owner of the mansion behind those gates? 3 minutes earlier, the Beverly Hills morning had been perfect. 70 degrees, birds singing. The kind of morning that made $8.5 million seem like a bargain for paradise. Now Derek Hayes stood at the gate, hand on his holstered taser. 5 years as head of security. 5 years of keeping undesirables out of Avalon Estates. His badge gleamed, senior security supervisor. The weight of it on his chest felt like authority, like power. Sir, you need to reverse your vehicle immediately, Derek's voice boomed through the intercom. This is private property. The Bentley didn't move. Derek stepped out from the guard booth. 6'3", 240 pounds, ex-military bearing that he practiced in mirrors. His boots clicked on the pavement as he approached the driver's side. Marcus's window was still down. He sat perfectly still, hands visible on the steering wheel. The morning sun caught his face. Clean-shaven, composed, wearing a Tom Ford suit that cost more than Derek made in 3 months. License and registration. Derek's hand moved to his radio. And your business here? Marcus reached slowly for the glove compartment, every movement deliberate, peaceful. He handed over his driver's license. Derek's eyes scanned it, then scanned it again. This says you live here. That's correct. Bullshit. The word cracked like a whip. I've worked this gate 5 years, never seen you. I travel frequently. Sure you do. Derek's laugh was ugly, dismissive. He keyed his radio. Control, I need backup at the main gate. We have a situation. The radio crackled. Copy that. 3 units responding. Marcus's expression didn't change. His breathing remained steady. 4 breaths per minute. Meditation slow. Look. Derek leaned closer, his cologne sharp and cheap. I don't know what game you're playing. Maybe you're somebody's driver. Maybe you borrowed this car. But people like you? He gestured at Marcus's face. You don't live in Avalon Estates. People like you. The words hung in the air like smoke from a fired gun. 3 more security guards approached. Johnson, Ramirez, Terry, all wearing the same Navy uniforms, the same suspicious expressions. They formed a semicircle around the Bentley's door. Mr. Thompson, Marcus said quietly. My name is Marcus Thompson. I own 1847 Avalon Drive. The Parker Mansion? Johnson laughed. That place sold 5 years ago to some tech executive. Yes, to me. Derek's face flushed red. His hand moved from the taser to his expandable baton. Sir, you have 10 seconds to reverse this vehicle before I call the real police. Inside the mansion, motion sensors detected movement in the driveway. Screens flickered to life in the empty foyer. The house's AI system initiated its morning startup sequence, scanning, identifying, processing. 5 seconds, Derek counted. Marcus didn't move. 4. A jogger stopped to watch, then a dog walker, then a woman with a stroller. Morning routines interrupted by the scene unfolding. 3. Derek pulled out metal handcuffs. They caught the light like a promise of violence. 2. The radio crackled again. Derek, what's your status? Do you need LAPD? 1. Marcus lifted his chin slightly. His eyes found security camera number 7, the one that fed directly to the house's main system, the one that was running facial recognition right now. Cross-referencing, verifying. Time's up. Derek reached for the door handle. You're trespassing on private property. Step out of the vehicle. No, Marcus said. One word, calm as a frozen lake. Excuse me? I said no. I'm not trespassing. This is my home. Derek's face twisted, anger and disbelief fighting for control. Johnson Terry, get ready to extract him if he resists. The backup guards moved closer. The morning had turned electric, dangerous, like the moment before lightning strikes. But Marcus Thompson just sat there, waiting. Because he knew something they didn't. The house was waking up. The system was recognizing its owner. And in approximately 4 minutes, everything would change. Everyone stay back, Derek shouted at the growing crowd. But it was too late. The smartphones were already out, already recording. A silver Tesla pulled up behind the Bentley, then a Range Rover, then a Mercedes. Avalon Estates' morning exodus had become an impromptu audience. 15 phones rose like salutes. 20, 30. Is that the police? A teenager's voice cut through the morning air. Why are they surrounding that man? That's not police, honey. An older woman's voice, clear, projecting. That's private security, and they're harassing someone. Derek's jaw clenched. Ma'am, please keep moving. This is a security matter. Security matter? The woman stepped forward, silver-haired, dignified, wearing a USC law sweatshirt. Looks like profiling to me. I'm live streaming this. A young man in workout gear held his phone high. Already got 5,000 viewers. World Star TMZ. Everybody's about to see this. The guards exchanged nervous glances. Johnson whispered, Derek, maybe we should... Should what? Derek spun on him. Do our jobs. That's exactly what we're doing. Marcus remained motionless in the driver's seat. His silence was louder than sirens, his calm more threatening than rage. A woman in scrubs, clearly heading to a hospital shift, approached the passenger side. Sir, are you okay? Do you need medical attention? He's fine, Derek snapped. Everyone needs to disperse immediately. Or what? The woman in the USC sweatshirt pulled out her own phone. You'll handcuff us too? For watching you deny a man entry to his own home? He doesn't live here. How do you know that? Derek's voice rose, cracking. Because look at him. This is Avalon Estates, $8 million homes, tech executives, Hollywood producers, not what? The live streamer zoomed in on Derek's face. Finish that sentence for my 50,000 viewers. Go ahead. 50,000. The number had multiplied in minutes. This neighborhood has standards, Derek said. His face was crimson now, sweat beading on his forehead despite the cool morning. We maintain security protocols. Security protocols? An elderly Latina woman emerged from the crowd. Maria Rodriguez, 72 years old. She'd lived in Avalon Estates longer than anyone. Her husband had built half these houses. I know this man. Every head turned. Maria walked directly to Marcus's window. Her weathered hand touched the Bentley's door. Mr. Thompson, I remember when you bought the Parker place 5 years ago. You had the whole house renovated, donated to my husband's memorial fund. Derek's mouth opened, closed, opened again. You must be mistaken. Mistaken? Maria's voice could have cut glass. I've lived here 40 years. I forget nothing. This man owns the biggest house on the street, and you... She pointed at Derek. You're the mistake. The crowd erupted, comments flying. Shares multiplying. The live stream hit 100,000 viewers. This is going viral. Lawsuit incoming. Fire them all. Is this 2024 or 1954? A child's voice pierced through the chaos. A little black boy, maybe 7, tugging his mother's hand. "Mommy, why won't they let him go home?" The mother's eyes glistened. She pulled her son closer. "Sometimes, baby, people judge you before they know you." "But that's not fair." "No, baby, it's not." The word hung in the morning air. Fair. Such a simple concept. Such an impossible standard. Derek's radio exploded with static. "Hayes, what the hell is happening? We've got media calling. Corporate's on line 1. The internet is going crazy." But Derek couldn't answer. He was watching his authority evaporate, watching his 5 years of careful control crumble in real time. The badge on his chest felt heavier. The handcuffs in his grip felt like anchors. Marcus still hadn't moved, hadn't spoken since his single no. He was waiting. And everyone, the crowd, the viewers, the world, was waiting with him. 3 minutes and 30 seconds of absolute silence. Marcus Thompson didn't argue, didn't plead, didn't pull out his phone to call lawyers. He simply sat there, hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, breathing with mechanical precision. Derek's voice cracked. "Say something. I'm talking to you." Marcus's eyes found camera 7 again, then shifted to camera 12, then 19. He was mapping the security system, counting down. The crowd held its collective breath. The live stream comments exploded. "He's like Gandhi, the power of peaceful resistance. This man has more strength than an army." Derek pulled out his expandable baton, extended it with a sharp click. "Last chance. Get out of the vehicle or I'll—" Marcus closed his eyes, inhaled through his nose. 4 seconds, held for 7, exhaled for 8. The 4-7-8 breathing technique. Perfect calm in perfect chaos. "Are you listening to me?" Derek's voice pitched higher. Desperate now, Johnson touched Derek's shoulder. "Boss, maybe we should verify." "Verify what?" Derek shoved Johnson's hand away. "That this guy is lying? That he's trespassing?" Terry stepped back. "The crowd's getting bigger. This doesn't look good." "I don't care how it looks." But he did care. Everyone could see it. The way his hand trembled, the way sweat ran down his temple, the way his eyes darted between the cameras and the crowd and Marcus's impossibly serene face. Maria Rodriguez hadn't moved from beside the Bentley. "Mr. Thompson," she said softly, "would you like me to call someone?" Marcus opened his eyes. For the first time in minutes he moved, a tiny shake of his head. Then he smiled. Not at Maria, not at Derek, at camera 7. That smile said everything. It said, "I know who I am. I know what I own. I know what's coming." Derek saw the smile. It shattered his last restraint. "You think this is funny? You think you can just sit there and—" Marcus's wrist turned slightly. The Patek Philippe caught the light. On its face, a tiny notification blinked. Connection established. Inside 1847 Avalon Drive, the house's central AI system completed its analysis. Facial recognition, confirmed. Voice print, confirmed. Biometric signature from the car's sensors, confirmed. Primary resident detected at front gate. Security breach in progress. Initiating intervention protocol. Derek raised the baton. "Get out now." The crowd gasped. Someone screamed, "He's going to hit him!" But Marcus didn't flinch. His breathing remained steady. His hands remained still. His eyes returned to Derek's face with something that looked almost like pity. "What are you looking at?" Derek's whole body shook now. 5 years of authority, 5 years of control, all dissolving under that calm, knowing gaze. Ramirez grabbed Derek's wrist. "Don't do it. There's 100 cameras on us. Let go of me." "Derek, this is career suicide." "I said let go." The live stream viewer count hit 300,000. Someone had called the local news. A helicopter thumped in the distance, approaching fast. And still, Marcus said nothing. His silence was a mirror. In it, Derek saw himself, saw what everyone else was seeing. A large man with a weapon, threatening someone who hadn't raised a hand, hadn't raised his voice, hadn't done anything but try to go home. The baton lowered slowly. Derek's chest heaved. Why won't you just talk? Marcus's eyes shifted one more time to camera 7. Then he spoke. 3 words, soft as silk, sharp as surgery. I am home. The morning air seemed to crystallize. Everyone heard it. Everyone felt it. The absolute certainty in those 3 words. Derek stepped back. His foot caught on the curb. He stumbled. The mighty security supervisor, stumbling backward from a man who hadn't moved an inch. The Patek Philippe's notification blinked faster. Inside the mansion, screens flared to life. The intervention protocol moved to phase 2. Authorization confirmed, initiating property defense mode. The first voice wasn't human. Attention! The sound erupted from every speaker in the security booth, the gate pillars, and the hidden arrays along the driveway. Female, synthetic, absolute. Biometric scan initiated. Derek spun toward the booth. What the hell? Red laser grids erupted from the gate's pillars. They swept across Marcus's face, his hands, his retinas. The Bentley's interior lit up like a medical scanner. Scanning subject, please remain still. Marcus didn't need the instruction. He hadn't moved in 5 minutes. Facial recognition, processing. The crowd pressed closer. The live stream comments exploded into chaos. Everyone could see the massive LED screen above the security booth. It usually displayed Avalon Estates in elegant script. Now it showed Marcus's face being analyzed in real time. Bone structure. Retinal patterns. Micro-expressions. Who authorized this? Derek ran to the booth, yanking at the door. Locked. Johnson! Override the system, Johnson typed frantically at his tablet. I can't. I'm locked out. Facial recognition. Complete. Subject identified. The LED screen flashed green. Marcus Julian Thompson, resident, owner, primary authorization. The words hung in the air for 3 seconds. 3 seconds that felt like 3 years. Voice print analysis initiated. The system replayed Marcus's voice from 2 minutes ago. I am home. The waveforms danced across the LED screen. Then it played recordings from the house's internal memory. Marcus on phone calls. Marcus greeting delivery staff. Marcus from 5 years of accumulated data. Voice match. 99.97% certainty. Derek's face had gone from red to white. The system's been hacked. Someone hacked our system. Secondary verification initiated. Now, something extraordinary happened. The Bentley's own system synced with the house. The car's internal cameras had been recording everything. The steering wheel had been reading Marcus's pulse. The seat had been measuring his weight distribution. Biometric data confirmed. Pulse pattern, match. Stress indicators, minimal. That last part made the crowd laugh. Minimal stress, while surrounded by hostile security, while threatened with batons and handcuffs, minimal stress. DNA verification initiated. A small panel opened in the gate pillar. Mr. Thompson, please touch the scanner. Marcus leaned out slightly, placed his thumb on the pad. The simple movement looked like a king extending his scepter. DNA match confirmed. Marcus Julian Thompson, sole owner, 1847 Avalon Drive, purchase date, October 15, 2019, price, $8,500,000. The LED screen displayed the property deed, the mortgage documents, the insurance policies, 5 years of proof cascading like a waterfall. Derek stumbled backward. No, this is wrong. This is security breach detected. The AI's voice turned colder, harder. Unauthorized denial of resident access, violation of Protocol 77 Alpha. Every security badge started beeping. Derek's, Johnson's, Terry's, Ramirez's, high-pitched electronic screams. Reviewing security logs. The LED screen split into multiple panels. Security footage from the last 6 months. Derek turning away a black delivery driver. Derek refusing entry to an Asian tech executive visiting another resident. Derek, again and again, denying access to people who looked like Marcus. Pattern detected. Discriminatory behavior confirmed. Violations logged 282. The crowd gasped. Someone whispered, 282 people? Accessing employment protocols. Derek ripped his badge off, trying to stop the beeping. It wouldn't stop. The sound drilled into everyone's ears, an electronic accusation that couldn't be silenced. Derek Hayes, security clearance, revoked. The badge went dark, dead. 5 years of authority reduced to dead plastic. Johnson, Ramirez, Terry, security clearance, suspended pending review. Their badges flickered amber. Warning lights. Initiating property protection mode. The mansion's lights blazed to life. Every window, every room, like the house itself was waking up. Angry, protective. The driveway lights formed an illuminated path from the gate to the front door, a golden road. Emergency protocol contacting property owner legal representation. Derek's phone rang, Johnson's phone rang, the security booth phone rang, all displaying the same caller ID. Hamilton, Crawford, and Associates, Marcus's law firm, the one that handled his Fortune 500 company's litigation. Mr. Thompson? The AI voice softened, almost apologetic. Your home is ready. Would you like the gate opened? Marcus spoke for the second time in 10 minutes. One word, clear and calm. Yes. The massive iron gates began to swing open, slow, majestic, inevitable. They'd blocked him for 17 minutes. Now they parted like the Red Sea. But the AI wasn't finished. Analyzing historical data, searching for related incidents. The LED screen flooded with data. Email exchanges between Derek and other guards. Keep the neighborhood pure. You know what kind of people to watch for. Property values depend on the right kind of residence. Then came the smoking gun. An email from Derek to a security company executive. Successfully maintained demographic standards. Avalon Estates remains 91% white. Bonus requested. The crowd exploded. The live stream hit 1 million viewers. Every major news outlet had picked up the feed. #AvalonGate was trending worldwide. Marcus Julian Thompson, full system access restored. Welcome home, sir. The Bentley's engine purred to life. Marcus hadn't turned the key. The house had started his car remotely. The ultimate gesture of recognition, of apology, of technological justice. Derek stood in the middle of the driveway, badge dead, authority evaporated, career destroyed, all in 12 minutes of systematic, irrefutable revelation. Marcus shifted the car into drive. The Bentley rolled forward slowly. Derek had to step aside or be run over. He chose to step aside. As the car passed, Marcus looked at Derek one last time. No smile, no sneer, just a look that said, "You did this to yourself." The gates began closing behind the Bentley. The LED screen displayed a final message. New security protocols uploading. Discrimination-free environment initiating. All badges requiring recertification. Inside the mansion, every smart screen displayed the same message. Welcome home, Mr. Thompson. I apologize for the delay. The house had chosen its side. Technology had rendered judgment, and justice had been served at exactly the speed of light. The LED screen above the gate wasn't done, not even close. Comprehensive evidence review initiated. Derek lunged for the main power switch in the security booth. Locked. Everything was locked. He was trapped outside his own booth, watching his life unravel in 4K resolution. Displaying Exhibit 1. Video footage filled the screen. Crystal clear. Date stamp, 6 months ago, Derek at the gate stopping a black surgeon. Sorry, sir. You'll need to wait while we verify. The surgeon waited 45 minutes for a scheduled visit to provide emergency medical consultation. Displaying Exhibit 2, another video, 3 months ago, an Asian woman in a Tesla. Ma'am, this is a restricted community. She lived there, had lived there for 2 years. Derek made her show proof of residence every single time. Displaying Exhibit 3. The crowd pressed closer. The live stream audience held its breath. Audio recording now. Derek's voice in the break room. I don't care if they have money. We keep Avalon Estates a certain way. That's what they really pay me for. Not security. Demographic control. Johnson's voice responded. Derek, someone could record. Let them try. I've got the board's backing. Why do you think I never got fired after all those complaints? The confession echoed across the morning air. The smoking gun delivered in Derek's own voice. Maria Rodriguez stepped forward. I filed 3 of those complaints. They told me Derek was a valued employee who made difficult decisions for community safety. Accessing internal communications. The screen split into a grid of emails, hundreds, thousands, a systematic pattern over 5 years. From Derek to overnight guards, extra vigilance on darker individuals. From Derek to weekend staff, if they don't look like they belong, they don't. From Derek to new hires, you'll learn to spot them. It's an instinct. Then came the spreadsheet, Derek's personal file. Hidden in the security system, but not hidden from the house AI that controlled everything. Rejection database located. Names, dates, reasons, and a column labeled demographic code. B for Black, H for Hispanic, A for Asian, M for Middle Eastern. 282 entries in 6 months. 89% had demographic codes. Jesus Christ, someone in the crowd whispered. He kept a list. Analyzing financial records. Pay stubs appeared. Security staff schedules. Another pattern emerged. White guards. Average 45 hours per week. Overtime approved consistently. Non-white guards. Average 20 hours per week. Overtime denied consistently. Terry's record appeared. 5 years of perfect reviews. Never promoted. Never given full-time hours. While Derek's nephew, hired 2 years ago, 3 written warnings on file, made supervisor. Terry stood frozen, staring at his own discrimination laid bare. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Final exhibit, video timestamp. 17 minutes ago. The screen showed the last 20 minutes from 12 angles. Every second of Derek's aggression, every moment of Marcus's dignity, the raised baton, the threats, the pure, undeniable prejudice. But then came something unexpected. The house AI isolated Derek's audio and enhanced it. Background whispers he thought were private. Another one thinking they own the place. Probably drug money. They all claim to live here when caught. Each whisper time-stamped. Each one crystal clear. Each one another nail in the coffin. The LED screen went black for a moment, then displayed a single document. California Civil Code Section 51, Unruh Civil Rights Act. All persons within the jurisdiction of this state are free and equal. Below it, damage calculations appeared. 282 violations times statutory damages equals $4,230,000 minimum liability, plus punitive damages, plus emotional distress, plus attorney fees. Derek's phone buzzed. A text from his wife. It's all over the news. The kids are seeing this at school. What did you do? The security booth phone rang. Caller ID. Avalon Estates Board of Directors. Johnson answered, his hand shaking. Avalon Security, this is... Fired. The voice boomed on speaker. All of you, clear out. Now. Our lawyers will be in touch. The line went dead. The evidence display concluded with Marcus's full biography. MIT graduate. Fortune 500 CEO, philanthropist, donor to 13 local charities, builder of 2 homeless shelters, employer of 3,000 people. The man Derek had called another one. The Bentley's door opened. Marcus Thompson stepped out. 6 feet 2 inches of contained power, the Tom Ford suit unmarred despite 20 minutes of harassment. His Italian leather shoes touched the pavement with deliberate precision. Every movement calculated, every gesture designed to command attention. The crowd parted instinctively. The live stream cameras tracked him like he was walking a red carpet, which, in a way, he was. The driveway lights still blazed golden, creating his pathway home. But Marcus didn't walk to his door. He turned, faced Derek, faced them all. When he spoke, his voice carried the authority of boardrooms where billion-dollar decisions died or thrived. My name is Marcus Julian Thompson. I am the founder and CEO of Nexus Technologies. We employ 3,000 people. Our last quarterly revenue was $2.7 billion. Each fact landed like a judge's gavel. 5 years ago, I purchased this home, cash, $8.5 million. I have lived here, paid taxes here, donated to schools here. My property taxes alone fund 2 teaching positions at the local elementary school. Derek's mouth opened. No sound emerged. For 5 years, Mr. Hayes, you've been employed to protect this community, to protect my home, to protect me. Marcus took 1 step closer. Instead, you've violated federal civil rights law. You've exposed this community to massive liability. You've turned security into segregation. Derek started. You were just doing what you thought you could get away with. Marcus's voice never rose, never needed to. You saw my skin and made a judgment. You saw my car and assumed theft. You saw my success and called it impossible. The crowd was silent. The live stream comments had stopped scrolling. Everyone waited. But here's what you didn't see. Marcus pulled out his phone, not to call anyone, to show something. You didn't see the security footage I've been collecting? Every rejection, every humiliation you inflicted, every person you turned away who had every right to be here. He held the phone high. On it, a compilation video played. Derek's greatest hits of discrimination, 6 months compressed into 60 seconds of undeniable prejudice. My AI doesn't just protect my house, Mr. Hayes. It documents everything, every visitor, every delivery. Every single time you decided someone's skin color determined their legitimacy. Johnson stepped back. Terry removed his badge voluntarily, placing it on the ground. Ramirez was already walking toward his car. But Derek stood frozen, watching his career, his reputation, his entire identity evaporate in real time. You have 10 minutes, Marcus continued, his tone shifting to ice, to clear out your personal items from the security booth. After that, you're trespassing. And unlike you, I have actual grounds to press charges. You can't. I can. I did. It's done. Marcus turned to the crowd, to the cameras, to the million people watching live. For anyone who's been turned away from visiting friends here, for anyone who's been harassed delivering packages here, for anyone who's been made to feel less than human at these gates, I apologize. This ends today. Maria Rodriguez started clapping, slow, steady, like thunder building. Others joined. The applause spread like wildfire. Not because Marcus was rich, not because he was powerful, but because he'd endured humiliation with dignity and responded with devastating precision. Derek's badge lay on the ground, dead plastic that once meant everything to him. He bent to pick it up. His hand shook so badly he dropped it twice. Leave it, Marcus said quietly. It's worthless now anyway. The badge hit the pavement with a thin plastic crack. The sound of 5 years ending, the sound of prejudice meeting consequence. Marcus looked directly into the nearest phone camera, spoke to the live stream audience, to the news cameras now arriving, to history. What you witnessed today isn't unique. It happens at gates and doors and borders everywhere. The only difference is today it was documented. Today there were consequences. Today, the system worked. He turned back toward his home, paused, looked back one more time. Mr. Hayes, you asked me earlier what people like me are doing here. I'll answer that now. We're living. We're thriving. We're changing things. And we're not asking your permission anymore. Marcus walked toward his front door. The golden lights pulsed brighter with each step, as if the house itself was celebrating his return. Behind him, Derek Hayes stood in the ruins of everything he'd built on hate. His supervisor badge, that symbol of authority he'd worn like armor, lay cracked on the asphalt. In 10 minutes, it would be swept up with the trash. Justice had been served. But this was only the first course. 3 white vans pulled through the still-open gates. Clean, professional. Secural International emblazoned on the sides. Marcus hadn't gone inside. He stood on his porch, overseeing what came next. The second act of justice. The van doors opened in synchronization. 12 security professionals emerged. The deliberate diversity was impossible to miss. Black, white, Asian, Latino, men and women, young and experienced, each wearing body cameras, each moving with military precision. Their leader stepped forward, a black woman, 40-ish, with sergeant stripes from her Marine days still visible in her bearing. Her name tag read, Captain Sarah Washington. Mr. Thompson, she saluted. Not military, but respectful. Secure all rapid response team. We're ready to assume security operations immediately. Derek hadn't moved, still standing by his dead badge like a mourner at a grave. You can't just replace us. We have contracts. We have rights. Sarah Washington turned to him, smiled the way a shark might smile at a minnow. Mr. Hayes, I've reviewed your employment agreement, Section 17, subsection 3. Immediate termination authorized for any violation of federal anti-discrimination law. You violated it 282 times. She pulled out a tablet. Read from it. Furthermore, California Labor Code Section 1102.5 protects Mr. Thompson's right to replace staff engaged in illegal activity. Your contracts are void. Your final paychecks will be mailed. After deductions for potential legal damages, you might owe money. Marcus descended his porch steps, addressed the new team loud enough for everyone to hear. Captain Washington, I have specific requirements for Avalon Estate security going forward. Yes, sir. First, all security decisions will be logged and reviewed by AI for bias patterns. Any statistical deviation in treatment based on race, religion, or nationality triggers immediate review. Understood. Second, body cameras are mandatory. Always on. Footage uploaded to the cloud in real time. No local deletion possible. Already implemented, sir. Third, every guard must complete 40 hours of implicit bias training. Annual recertification required. Failure means termination. Our team has already completed 60 hours each. Derek laughed, bitter, broken. You had this planned. This whole thing was planned. Marcus turned to him. No, Mr. Hayes. You had 5 years to do the right thing. I gave you every opportunity. The system gave you warnings. The complaints gave you chances. You chose this. Captain Washington motioned to her team. They moved like a choreographed dance. 2 to the security booth, 2 to the auxiliary gates, the rest positioned at key points, taking over, seamlessly, professionally. One of them, a young Latino man, approached Terry. Sir, we've reviewed your record. 5 years of exemplary service despite systematic discrimination. Secure All would like to offer you a position. Full-time, supervisor level, 40% pay increase. Terry's eyes filled. He nodded, unable to speak. Captain Washington continued the transformation. Mr. Thompson, we're implementing the Avalon Protocol immediately. She showed her tablet to the crowd, to the cameras, to the world. Every visitor logged with timestamps. Every rejection documented with cause, weekly bias audits, monthly community reviews, full transparency. Any resident can access the logs. Any pattern of discrimination triggers automatic investigation. The live stream audience watched history being written, a new standard being set. Not just for Avalon Estates, for everywhere. Marcus addressed the crowd again. To our neighbors who've watched in silence as guests were harassed, who've known something was wrong but didn't speak up. Today is a reset. We're better than this. We have to be better than this. An older white man stepped forward from the crowd. Expensive suit, silver hair. Marcus, I'm Jonathan Pike, HOA president. I owe you an apology. We all do. We knew Derek's reputation. We chose convenience over conscience. He turned to the cameras. The Homeowners Association formally apologizes to Mr. Thompson and to every person wrongfully denied access to our community. We failed in our oversight. That changes now. Derek was backing toward his car, each step a retreat from 5 years of false power. But Marcus wasn't done. Mr. Hayes, one more thing. Derek stopped. Your nephew, the supervisor you promoted overqualified candidates, he's terminated too. Nepotism and discrimination often walk hand in hand. Captain Washington held up her tablet one more time. Mr. Thompson, facial recognition shows 16 former visitors wrongly rejected are watching this live stream. Should I send them formal invitations to return, with apologies and compensation for their treatment? Yes, and include lifetime guest passes. They've earned the right to visit freely. The new security team was fully deployed now, the transformation complete. In 12 minutes, Marcus had replaced an entire security infrastructure, not with revenge, with better, not with chaos, with competence, not with discrimination, with dignity. Derek's car started. The engine sounded like surrender. As he drove toward the gate, the new guard stepped aside. Professional, courteous, everything he never was. The gates would close behind him and never open for him again. The crowd didn't disperse. They became something else, something more. 200 people now, residents, delivery drivers who'd stopped, parents walking kids to school, all standing witness to something they'd never forget. Maria Rodriguez stepped forward first. Her weathered hands trembled as she spoke. 50 years I've lived in California. 50 years I've watched this happen. Today, for the first time, I saw it stop. I saw consequences. I saw justice. She turned to face the phone cameras. Someone's live stream had hit 2 million viewers. My husband built these houses. Miguel Rodriguez. His hands laid the foundations, his sweat mixed with the concrete, but he was never welcome at the parties, never invited to the housewarmings. Today, his widow watched a wrong get made right. A young black delivery driver raised his hand. I got turned away last month, told me I was at the wrong address. I had GPS proof. Derek made me wait 40 minutes while he verified. Cost me 6 other deliveries. Lost my performance bonus. Captain Washington approached him. Sir, what's your name? Jerome Williams. Mr. Williams, Securall will be recommending compensation for lost wages. Please see me before you leave. The crowd stirred. More stories emerged. An Asian real estate agent. 3 clients. 3 times blocked. Lost a $2 million sale because Derek wouldn't let my clients tour the property. A Latino contractor. 5-month renovation project. Stopped at the gate every single morning. Like my truck and tools were suspicious. Every single morning. A Middle Eastern professor visiting for a faculty dinner, held for an hour, missed the dinner. My host was the university dean. The embarrassment was indescribable. Each story added weight. The live stream comments became testimony. This happened to me in Bel Air. Same in Manhattan Beach. Security asked if I was the help at my own condo. Then something extraordinary happened. A white woman in yoga attire stepped forward. I'm ashamed. I jogged past Derek doing this to people. Every week. I said nothing. I thought it wasn't my business. She paused. Silence is complicity. I'm sorry. Another white resident. We had a WhatsApp group. Derek would message when suspicious people were around. We knew what he meant. We participated. He deleted the app in front of everyone. Not anymore. Jonathan Pike, the HOA president, pulled out his phone. I'm calling an emergency board meeting. Right now. Motion to implement the Avalon Protocol across all our properties. Who seconds? 12 hands shot up from board members in the crowd. Motion carried. Captain Washington can handle all 6 Avalon properties. Yes, sir. We have teams standing by. The change was spreading, like dominoes falling, each confession triggering another, each apology creating space for more truth. A teenager with green hair spoke up. Mr. Thompson, my mom says you can't fight racism with money and power, but you just did. How? Marcus smiled, the first genuine smile since he'd arrived. I didn't fight it. I documented it. I let it reveal itself. Racism is like mold. It dies in sunlight. Today we opened all the windows. The kid live-streamed his response. Opening windows. That's the quote. That's going on protest signs. An elderly black man leaning on a cane made his way forward. Young man, he said to Marcus, I marched in Selma. Got hit with batons for trying to vote. Today you got justice without throwing a punch, without raising your voice. That's evolution. That's progress. Marcus walked over, shook his hand. We stand on your shoulders, sir. You walked through hell so I could walk through my own front door. The crowd was crying now, half of them at least. The other half were sharing, posting, spreading the story across every platform. A news helicopter circled overhead. 3 news vans had arrived, but the real media were the people. Every phone a broadcast station, every person a witness. Captain Washington's tablet chimed. Mr. Thompson, we're getting security contract inquiries. 17 properties want to implement the Avalon Protocol. Today, change. Real change. Not in years or months, but in minutes. A little black girl tugged her father's hand, the same child who'd asked why Marcus couldn't go home. Daddy, does this mean it's getting better? Her father lifted her onto his shoulders. Baby girl, you just watched one man change the world. Imagine what all of us could do. The crowd began to disperse, but they took something with them. A story, a standard, a certainty that discrimination could be defeated. Not with violence, with vigilance, not with revenge, with recording, not with hatred, with humanity. The sun climbed higher over Beverly Hills. The October morning had become afternoon. The gates of Avalon Estates stood open, not just physically, symbolically. Marcus Thompson stood in his doorway. The house behind him sprawled 8,000 square feet, but it wasn't about the mansion anymore. It was about the message. His phone buzzed, a text from his CFO. Stock price up 12%. Investors love companies that stand for something. Another buzz. His lawyer. 3 other CEOs want to discuss implementing bias detection AI in their companies. Another, the governor's office. The governor would like to discuss statewide security reform. But Marcus wasn't looking at his phone. He was watching Terry train with the new team, watching Maria Rodriguez hug neighbors she'd been afraid to confront, watching America wrestle with its reflection. The live stream had reached 10 million views. #OpenTheGates was trending globally. In 12 hours, it would be 20 million. In 24 hours, Congress would be discussing the Avalon Protocol. But change doesn't wait for Congress. In Palo Alto, a tech campus security team was being audited. In Manhattan, a luxury building was reviewing its visitor logs. In Miami, Houston, Seattle, gates were being examined, policies questioned, bias exposed. Marcus finally spoke. Not to the crowd, which had mostly dispersed, not to the cameras, though some still rolled. but to everyone who would hear this story. Every gate has a Derek Hayes. Every community has invisible walls. Every one of us has walked past injustice and called it normal. He paused. Let it sink in. But every one of us also has a choice. Document it, challenge it, change it. You don't need to be a CEO. You don't need millions. You just need to refuse to be silent. He looked directly at the nearest camera. So here's my question. What gate will you open today? What wall will you tear down? What Derek Hayes will you expose? The revolution isn't coming. It's here. It's live. It's streaming. And it starts with your next choice. Marcus stepped inside his home. Finally. The door closed. The gates remained open.